day and welcome to the BMC Control-M Automation Series webinar. Today's webinar is being recorded, and at this time I'd like to turn the conference over to Mr. Vu Nguyen. Please go ahead, sir.
Welcome to Connect with Control-M. My name is Vu Nguyen. I am a senior TSA in the Control Support Group based in Costa Mesa, California, and I've been with BMC Software for over 14 years. Today's webinar will be the second presentation of the Control-M for SAP. In this session, we'll cover the advanced topic of extractor management. So let's take a look at the agenda. Today we will discuss extractor management, what it is and when and why to use it. We'll discuss the SAP extractor process, which runs in the background to make everything work behind the scenes. We'll see what spawn detection is. We'll check out interception. We'll go over what extraction is. We'll have a live demo showing the three processes. There'll be a tips and tricks. If you have questions, please feel free to post them in the Q&A panel to the far right as we go through the presentation. They will be addressed at the end. Let's begin. Extractor management is an advanced feature of the Control-M for SAP. It's not required to run SAP jobs, but it allows Control-M users and administrators to manage SAP jobs not submitted by Control-M. One of the most common uses is to detect and monitor spawn jobs created by a SAP job submitted by Control-M. For jobs submitted inside of SAP and out of Control-M's control, the interception and extraction modes can be used to manage those jobs. Now let's go to the next slide. For extractor management to function, your SAP administrator must enable certain features in SAP. Here we have a screenshot of the init XBP2 program being run from the SAP GUI. As you can see, for interception, we have three options. Activate 3.0 is available with SAP Basis Release 7.0 and higher, and it's recommended to use 3.0 whenever possible since it's more flexible and easier to manage. To intercept jobs, it must be turned on. For Control-M spawn detection, the parent-child function below needs to be enabled. For this setting, there is simply an on and an off option. Once again, please note this is not a Control-M configuration, but a configuration in SAP. So you and the SAP admin should discuss and enable only the features needed. Enabling these features essentially allows the Control-M for SAP extractor process to access additional functions in SAP. So if they are not turned on, it will not function correctly. So let's talk about the extractor process in the next few slides. The Control-M for SAP extractor process is basically the engine of extractor management. It's an optional background process that handles the creation of detected SAP jobs in Control-M for monitoring and managing. Behind the scenes is detecting SAP jobs and running CTM create to mirror the jobs in Control-M. So if that's not needed, there's no need to configure or start it. Since the Control-M for SAP can function without it, just independently submitting SAP jobs. On Windows, it's a service similar to any service. On Unix, it's a process started with the command start-xt and functions as a daemon. Its parameters are configured through the Extractor Manager plugin from the Configuration Manager, which we'll show in the demo. One thing worth mentioning is the extractor should not be started before configuring it. Going on to the next slide. Here is a screenshot of the Extractor Management plugin with the default settings. You will notice there are no rules and nothing is being detected. The activity log setting in the upper right here enables the extractor management activities to be logged in an extractor log with a current date, and that log can be found in the agent's proc log directory. The interval time is a polling interval used by the extractor process to periodically connect to SAP to handle job detection. So the 120 seconds here means every 2 minutes, the extractor process will connect to SAP and scan for any spawn jobs, intercepted jobs, or other jobs to extract. So there could be a delay of 2 minutes or more before a job shows up in SAP and then in Control-M. Typically, to avoid large delays, this value can be set to 30 seconds safely. Moving along here. One of the main reasons to use extractor management is the monitoring of spawn jobs. By default, spawn jobs are ignored and not detected by Control-M. Here we have a parent job ordered by Control-M. This job may have 0 to many spawn jobs. You need to monitor or wait for the spawn jobs to complete, and spawn detection can be used. Or you can choose to ignore them completely. One of the reasons to monitor spawn jobs is to ensure the parent job and any child processes are completed before running another job. For example, there may be a large HR update program that spawns many processes for many regions, and you want to make sure they all complete successfully before running the next SAP job or process. Also, if a parent job has many spawns, you can use quantitative or control resources to control how many spawns can run concurrently. Go on to the next slide here. Here we have an example of a parent job with two child processes as seen in the new V8 interface. In this scenario, parent demo is ordered and submitted by control room to SAP. When the job ran, it created two spawn processes, and we chose to monitor and manage them. Of course, we can also have chosen to ignore them. You can see here the parent job has ended, but the child process is still running. As soon as the parent job completes and the spawn processes are detected, it can end OK. Sometimes this is not what you want. If you want the job to wait for the parent and all child processes to end, you can place them in the smart folder. And in the smart folder, you can output a condition. Go next page. In the case of interception, jobs outside of control can be intercepted. For example, a SAP user can submit a job in SAP to run immediately, but the SAP system can be set up to intercept that job so that it does not run right away. Then control can be used to manage and release those jobs. Just think of the job as being placed on hold in SAP. For example, a SAP admin might intercept all jobs from a user or process since it causes system issues or a resource contention. Or possibly processes must be suspended to allow a large process to complete first. For example, the admin might decide to intercept a large QA process to let the nightly batch complete first since it's more critical. Once the SAP jobs are intercepted, control can be used to slowly release a few jobs at a time using quantitative resources, or a control arm operator can release the job manually. Otherwise, someone or some other process in SAP would need to release them. And let's go take a look at the intercepted job in SAP. This is SM37 GUI in SAP. Here we see an example of two intercepted jobs in the job overview screen. So these jobs were manually ordered by a user or a process in SAP, and for whatever reason, it was decided these jobs should not run right away. Once these jobs are intercepted, they must be released. Otherwise, they will stay in this mode indefinitely or until they are removed. So this is where the extractor management can take over and release the jobs. Here we may also see other jobs that were not intercepted nor ordered by control room. For those jobs, we can use extraction to monitor them. So let's move on to extraction. Extraction is simply the process of mirroring the job states of SAP jobs in control room monitoring. You don't want to necessarily extract all jobs, but only the ones you care about. This mode essentially handles jobs that were not spawn detected nor intercepted. If you remember in interception, jobs were suspended by SAP and then released by control room. And spawn jobs were created by a control room submitted job. Here we are simply getting the SAP job status for monitoring and managing in control room. A good use of extraction is to see if an internal SAP job has completed before launching other SAP jobs or processes. For example, a scheduler might need to know the status of an end of month or an end of week process before releasing other jobs. This way, a scheduler would not need to log into SAP to determine the job status and can just get the status from control room. Let's go over our demo on the next slide here. For the demo, we'll take a look at the Extractor Management plugin. We'll see a parent job spawn off two jobs. We'll intercept a job submitted by a SAP user. We'll extract a job that is neither spawned nor intercepted. Today's demo will be using version 8 of Control room. However, the Control room for SAP looks and functions the same way as in earlier versions. So you can also use version 7 and 640 as well. So let's go ahead and switch over to the demo here. I'll share my desktop. First, we'll go into Configuration Manager and check the Extractor Management plugin. We'll locate a Control room for SAP module here. We'll go ahead and right-click it and pick Extractor Management. This may take a few seconds to load depending on your environment. It's actually going to the agent to bring up the saved configuration. If the plugin does not work or gives an error message, the most common issue is not being on the correct version of the plugin. In that case, you just need to check the fix pack installation for updates to the plugin and then install it. For this demo, I have enabled all three options: spawn detection, interception, and extraction with those priorities. But when using extraction management, you have to decide which options to turn on and which priorities are suited for your environment. So you're going to have to discuss with your SAP admin. I have the activity log checked here in the upper right so that the extractor log will log its action in the agent's profile directory. I have set the polling interval from 120 to 30 seconds to reduce the delay in job detection and creation. Down here in extractor definitions will be the rules to determine which jobs are detected and processed by the extractor. We'll go ahead and load up the profile we'll use today, which is Opera. This is now downloading the extractor rules for the profile that is stored on the agent. The extractor rules will have control interception rules and extraction rules. For SAP interception criteria, we can do a load. So we'll go ahead and click on the load here. This load here actually brings up the rules or profiles defined in SAP for interception. These rules and profiles should be defined by the SAP administrator since they may impact other jobs and users in SAP. So let's take a look here. If you scroll down here, we see these are the active profiles in the system, and we see here that SAP SME is activated, which means our jobs will be intercepted. So let's take a look at the control interception rules. For interception, we are handling jobs with a prefix of intercept for user SAP SME. When intercepted, the jobs will be created in control with the attributes of template job, intercept _demo, and folders SAP _demos. So you have to make sure this folder and job exists ahead of time. This is because SAP jobs do not have these attributes, and we're just using control job to build it. The into folder is for smart folder options in case you want the detected job to be in a smart folder. At the bottom, we have user exit. If you don't want the normal job detection and creation, a user exit script can be used to handle the job any way you like. For example, if you want to log the job, send an email, run a process, or anything else you can do in the script. Let's check the extraction rules to see what jobs we care about for extraction. For extraction, we're handling jobs with the prefix of extract for user SAP SME. Here are other criteria you can filter on as well, such as job groups and date ranges. Down below, we also have decided only to extract jobs in released or scheduled states. Notice there are no intercepted or spawn states, since these are handled by interception and spawn detection. Let's see what we do with the extracted jobs. To keep it simple, all jobs will be created in control with the attributes of template job, extract _demo, and table SAP _demos. We also have the same into option here in case we want our extracted job to be created in a smart table. Here we've chosen to keep it as standalone. At the bottom we have the same user exit option to run a customized script to handle the extracted jobs in case you don't want the normal detection and creation. So let's take a look at today's job definitions and templates. Let's go to workload automation. And we'll go ahead and pick planning. We'll go ahead and load our table here. And this is open in the workspace here. So we'll go ahead and check it out since it makes it easier to read. Here we have 3 template jobs and a parent job to create 2 spawn processes. So let's take a look at our parent process here. Here we have a simple control job that runs an outbound program called zchild. It's using a variant of 2, which means it will create 2 spawns. Let's click on this SAP more here. Now we see output management. If you don't need the SAP job log or spool, or if it's too large, pick the don't copy option. This will allow the agent tracker to function more efficiently. Then we have settings for spawn detection. As mentioned, you can choose to ignore spawn processes. If that's the case, you can uncheck detect spawn job. For this job, we have chosen to detect the spawn jobs and create the job in control with the attribute similar to the parent. So the parent job has conditions, resources, shelves, etc. The spawn process will inherit those as well. But we can also have this job use another type of job, such as our child job. If that's the case, you can just change it here, pick a specific job definition, and change that to child. The start spawn job right below is just to release the job in case it's in a state where it's not running. So control will actually let it run automatically. So let's take a look at our child job. This is our child job that we could use for spawn detection. A template job should be an SAP R3 job. The connection probe file and host needs to match where the job is running from, otherwise it will fail. If there are any prerequisites for actions, that jobs, the spawn jobs will also have those as well. For this spawn template, we have not set any prereqs or actions. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the extract demo template. This is our template for extracted jobs. Notice we have correctly set the connection profile and host where extract job will run. Let's all check prerequisites. For prereqs, we have the quantitative resource of SAP_all. Go to action. For actions, we have set an alert when it fails. Let's take a look at our intercept template. As you can see here, it has the same basic information. And let's go ahead and check our prereqs. For intercepted job, we added an exclusive resource. This is just to allow only one intercepted job to run at any time. We're also using the same SAP all, so we control how many SAPP jobs we're submitting. Also, we have chosen to send an alert when the job fails, as you can see in our action tab here. So let's go ahead and order our parent job and see what's happening. So here we're going to order it. Okay, let's go to monitoring and see what's happening in control. Go ahead and expand it here. Okay. Here we see the parent job is already in executing mode. We expect two child processes to be created, but we don't see them yet. So let's take a look in SAP to see what's happening. So we're going to SAP interface here. We're going to go to the job overview, which is SM37. So in SAP, we see here that our parent job, parent_demo, has already ran and completed, and also the two child processes have also ran and completed. So let's go back to control M to see what's happening there. Here we see that the parent demo is still running, and the child processes have not been detected. If this happens, it usually means the extractor process is not running or spawn detection is not created or configured. So we'll go ahead and start the extractor process now. Remember, on Unix, the extractor process is started with the command start-xt. So there I have just started it. And let's go back to control server to see what's going on there. So as soon as we started the extractor process, it usually logs into SAP and starts pulling at an interval of 30 seconds as we configured. You notice as soon as we started it up, it finally detected the child processes. So we suspect that these extracted child processes would end within 30 seconds, plus there's some overheads on the agent tracking. So it would normally end within maybe 30 seconds plus maybe 15, 20 seconds delay after that. So while we wait for these, we'll go ahead and create a job for interception in SAP. So let's go back to SAP here. And we'll go to SM36 to create our job. Remember, for interception, we're actually creating, extracting jobs with the prefix of intercept. So we'll go ahead and create a job called intercept_1 here. We'll go ahead and add a step. We'll go ahead and save that. We'll go ahead and change the start condition to immediate because we want this job to go immediately. And we'll go ahead and save that. And then we'll go ahead and submit it. You notice as soon as we submit it, the system intercepted it. This means this job is essentially on hold right now. So let's take a look at what it looks like in SM37. So here we see that our interceptor for one job has been intercepted. So this job is not running right now. So let's take a look at what we see in the control room. And going back to monitoring, as soon as we switch back, we notice that this intercept job is now showing up in control M, and it seems to be waiting for a resource. So let's take a look at what it's waiting for. Okay, we see here that it's waiting for a SAP_all resource, which we have placed on it. So let's take a look at that resource here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and give this 50 here. Go ahead and save that. Go back to monitoring. As soon as we added the resource, we can see that the job is now executing. So let's go take a look at this job in SAP. We'll go ahead and do a refresh right here. Okay, you see now that this intercept job is already completed. So let's go back to control M to see if that job is completed or still running. We notice here the job is still running, and this is because of the 30-second polling interval. So we expect a delay of at least 30 seconds, probably will be delayed about a minute. We notice that now the job has completed. So let's go ahead and create a job for extraction. So we're going to go back to SAP here. We'll go ahead and go back to SM36 to create one. And remember, for extract jobs, we're actually extracting jobs with the prefix of extract. So we'll call ours extract_1. We'll go ahead and add a step. Let's get a basic step here. Go ahead and save it. Go back here. For extract job, we're just going to submit it. We don't need to run it immediately. So let's go ahead and take a look at what it looks like in SM37. And we'll go ahead and check that. Okay, you notice here that in SAP, this Extractor_1 is not in schedule status. It actually has not run. And if we do a refresh, it still has not executed. So let's go ahead and go back to control M to see what's happening there. So we go back here, we still don't see it. And this is because of the polling interval of the 30 seconds that we have set. So at some point we would expect this job to show up. Oh, there it goes. So we see here that this job is in executing status. And then we go back to control M here. Let's go back to SAP here and take a look at what's happening over there. And then we do a refresh. We notice this job is still in scheduled status, but in control M it's in executing status. This is because for control M, the scheduled status is the same as executing. So in this case, we'll go ahead and release this job in SAP so that it will actually run. We'll change it to immediate. We'll go ahead and save that. We'll refresh a few times here. Okay, now we see that in SAP that the extract_1 job is actually completed. So let's go ahead and return back to control M and see what's happening there. Okay, we know this time is actually a little quicker. As soon as that job ended and we returned, it was already ended. So let's take a look at the extractor log that I mentioned earlier. As mentioned, that log is found in the agent's proc log directory. So we'll go into the agent here, default proc log. And the log, as you can see, is xt_log with the date. So we can see in this log, we can see where spawn jobs are detected. We can see where the intercepted job was detected and created. And we can also see that the extracted job has been extracted and created. And then we also see right below here where it actually failed to order. You'll be able to see error messages whenever you get the wrong template. Remember, we were actually using a template of the parent or a template job called child. There was nothing called missing underscore child, so that's why we have an error message here. So that concludes our demo. So let's go ahead and return back to our presentation. Go back to the next page here. Oops. Next slide. In environments where node groups are used for SAP jobs, the spawn detection should be enabled on each node, but only enable interception and extraction on one node. This is because multiple extractor processes may compete with one another and intercept and extract the same jobs multiple times. This is not what you want. If you see paired jobs stuck in execution status or no spawn jobs being detected, it most likely means the control recipe extractor process is not running. So remember to start it when enabling extractor management. Also, the parent job may not complete if the wrong template job is used, so be sure to specify the correct template job. In the presentation, you saw delays when jobs were executing and detected by control. To reduce those delays, the polling interval for the extractor process can be reduced to, for example, 30 seconds safely. For parent and spawn jobs, you can place them in a smart folder and use a condition to ensure the parent and child processes are completed before running another process. Thank you for attending today's Connect with Control M. We appreciate you spending your valuable time with us today, and we hope you have enjoyed today's session with the Control M for SAP Advanced. Be sure to join us in upcoming Connect with Control M webinars. The next Connect with Control M webinar will be this December 11th with the Control M forecast. As a completion of today's webinar, please fill out the survey and let us know how we are doing, and also to suggest future topics you're interested in. Also, we welcome you to join us on Twitter, Facebook, and BMC communities. Let's go to the Q&A. If you have questions, please enter them in the Q&A panel to the far right. While we do the Q&A, here's a list of past webinars. Thank you for attending today's Connect with Control M. I hope you enjoyed our session and have learned a lot from this.